Welcome back. I'm Serah Muindi. I'm a counselor. I'm also a business owner and a leader. I also wear several other hats. But for today, I'm going to be talking about the tips for applying for Chevening. So in my previous video, when I was talking about my Chevening journey, I committed to do this video for you guys and tell you some of the tips that have helped me with my application. And just for context, I'm going to be sharing what has actually worked for me, and you may find some tips that help and work for you. You might find some tips that may not work for you. So this is purely based on my experience. I'm also going to request that if you like this video or you like content around leadership, business, mental health, travel, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you like the content I'll be sharing in this video, remember to like it. If you have a question, you can type it in the comment section, engage with me, let me know what you've liked, what you haven't liked, and then I'll be able to respond. So let's get into it. These are my takes on the tips for applying for Chevening. So number one, you need to start your application early. That means once the application opens, it opens in August next month. Once the application opens, please go through the eligibility criteria, go through the application timeline, and then start your application. I say start and not necessarily submit early, because it takes a bit of time to refine your answers. So tip 1, start early. Tip 2, read through every question and write your first drafts. So there's question 1 on leadership, networking, why the UK, and your career plan. So you need to read through each question and understand what is Chevening asking for in each question, and how then do you answer. So don't just give blanket answers, don't just give general answers. For each question, be very concise. I always recommend using a STAR approach. Give the situation, give the task you had to do, give the actions you had to take, and the results that showed up, or the results that you had. When you're writing your leadership essays and even the other essays, please make sure you use the STAR approach. Number 3, you need to be clear about your career plan, what you're looking to do after coming back from the UK. That needs to be very concise, and in your application you should show how receiving this scholarship aligns with your career plan, and ideally your career plan should have a positive impact on the community that either you lead or that you work in, or should have a positive impact on you, so that then you can positively impact others. So you have to be clear on what you want to do when you come back. Also, you have to be clear about the courses and how those courses align with your career. Please remember that this is you're applying for a scholarship and not necessarily the actual course. With this application, it's for the scholarship, so you need to tie how receiving this scholarship is going to help you move into the space you need to move into to have the impact that you are desiring to have. Number 4, research the universities that you want to study in. Sorry about that. So you need to do research around the universities that you want to study in. That means since you get 3 options, you select 3 unis, you have to go a bit more than just picking the actual universities. You need to research the course modules, you need to research the professors that teach those course modules, you need to research the campus, where is it located, some of the vicinity that you might want to check out that is close to the university that you're selecting. So you have to do research around the unis you want to go to, and then you have to tie why you are choosing those universities to your career plan and to the impact you want to have on the community. So for example, you might say, I'll use my example. I chose 3 universities: Hertfordshire, Loughborough, and Heriot-Watt. So I chose Loughborough because of the lecturers. The lecturers are really well informed around mental health, first of all, and business psychology. I also chose Loughborough because of the campus. The campus is really, really gorgeous, and it's in a small community where I'll then get to be able to engage with other community members. I chose Hertfordshire because of the units. One of the units in Hertfordshire was for organizational change, which is something I was keen to learn about because it aligns to my goal for improving the workplace by equipping employees with the knowledge and the skills to be able to manage some of the transitions that happen at work that normally affect their mental health negatively. So that is some of the research that I did about the universities that I applied for, and I'm hoping that it gives you context so that you can be able to choose specific universities for specific reasons, which you must then articulate in your application. Number 5, you please ask for support for reviewing your application. Ask for support from people that have won scholarships before. If you have alumni in your network for the Chevening scholarship, the Chevening scholarship, ask for them to review your application, your essays, and give you their input, and be willing to receive criticism, be willing to receive correction, and to also make those changes quickly. Then on this specific tip, if you're going to ask for feedback from alumni or current scholars of Chevening or even any other scholarship, please ensure that you are giving yourself and the person you're asking for help from adequate time to go through the application you have written and to give you their thoughts. So don't send an application to your friend to have a look at it, or an alumni of Chevening today, and the submission deadline is tomorrow. They will not have the time to do that. So when you choose to ask for support from previous alumni, from current scholars, make sure you do it in good time. Lastly, you have to be clear on the 4 key questions. The structure of the questions varies year to year, but the concept behind the questions is normally the same: on leadership, networking, why the UK, and your career plan. So leadership, the question is normally around what role have you had as a leader? How do you showcase that you have been a leader? What are some of the skills you have learned? Always give a situation where there was maybe a crisis, a task you had to do, some of the actions you took, and some of the results that you have seen as a leader. Same case for the other questions on networking. For why the UK, you have to select reasons, or I would recommend choosing reasons that include the actual country. So do a bit of research about what is happening in the UK, what's the relationship of the UK and Kenya, and how does that connect with this career plan that you have in mind and this scholarship opportunity that you're seeking. So that's for answering the question of why the UK. You do research on the country itself, and you do research on the universities themselves, and then align that with your career plan. Then the last question is on your career. What do you want to do once you come back? You're free to be as ambitious and to dream, because you hope to be able to achieve those things. So with your career plan, we normally recommend that you do short-term, medium and long-term plan. Short-term is immediately you come back from the UK, should you win the scholarship, what do you want to do? Mid-term is after that first maybe few months or year, what is your medium career plan, and then what's your long-term career plan? I'll give an example with my application. For my career plan, for my short term, one was internal. I wanted to equip the team at Hopewell, where I work, and the company I run, with some skills that I will have gained from the scholarship on how to structure corporate wellness packages, which is the direction that our business is going in over the next few years. Number 2 was external. I'd want to share the same knowledge that I've gained with community members, so that they can be able to gain the skills that they may be lacking to solve some of the community problems that they are facing. My medium-term goal was to grow in terms of my leadership roles and take up a more authoritative leadership role in the private sector, because I want to be a voice to be consulted when it comes to corporate wellness, and specifically the mental health of corporates or the mental health of employees or people that work in businesses within the country and also in the region, in the East African region and in the African continent. Then my my long-term career plan, I wrote that I would want to join the African Union and inform decision making around policy and investment in mental health within the country. So that's how I answered the question on the career plan, and I'm giving this to you as an example that you could also consider when you're answering the questions that are normally asked in the essays. There is a final tip that I would want to share with you. Please ensure you actually submit your application. Don't submit it the last day, because the Chevening platform normally hangs. Why? Because you and everybody else want to submit your application on the date when the application closes. So if you are really going to cut it very, very close, I'd suggest 2 days before the closing date. The earliest possible is ideal, okay? But if you have to push it kabisa to the end, make sure it's at least 2 days before the closing date. Why? The last day, guys, there are people who at 11:59 are still trying to submit their applications, and they're in the hundreds or in the thousands. Sometimes Chevening normally has extended in the past that closing window so that people can be able to submit, especially when the system has hung for so long that maybe somebody that had tried to submit their application earlier that day was unable to, or maybe those closing hours towards the deadline time. I don't want you to struggle when you're submitting your application. So you've taken the time to do it, you've spent the energy to read through those questions and those essays and to rewrite them and to correct them. You've taken the time to consult someone to help you fine-tune that application. Please don't let last minute be the reason. Guys, imagine now that's an airplane passing outside our office and messing with my video. Let's give it a minute. Okay, it's gone. So don't let all of the effort, energy and time you have put into that application go to waste because you were unable to submit it because you were there at 11:59 trying to submit your application. So those are some of the tips that I would want to share with you. Please let me know if you have started your application. Please type in the comment section and tell me I've started my application. I'd definitely be glad to wish you the very, very best. And if you have any questions around some of the tips I have shared on how to apply for the Chevening scholarship, do let me know. Post them in the comment section. I will definitely create some time to go through them and answer them. If you have enjoyed this video, I'd also want to say that these tips apply whether you are making an application for Chevening or making an application for a different award or a scholarship. The tips are still going to apply. So please like the video, share it with a friend, and if you know someone that's either pursuing a Chevening award or another award, as a scholarship award, or is applying for something for their further studies, share this video with them. Tell them about my channel. I'm definitely going to be creating a lot of content around my experience to be able to share it and also to be able to equip and edify you as well. I will see you again very, very, very soon.